to the Spheres of Spirit with Nancy Myers, aka the Lady of the Light. Nancy will discuss the everyday magic and wisdom of spirit which surrounds each of us, waiting to be discovered. She will share some of her remarkable orb photos, proving that our angels, guides, loved ones in spirit, and even pets surround us and guide us in our physical world. During this episode, Nancy will discuss one of the many spheres or aspects of spirit available to us based on her orb photography. She will also share a special channeled message from her guide, Leonini, and do an oracle card reading to help guide you along your personal spiritual adventure. And now, here is your host, orb photographer, author, medium, and speaker, Nancy Myers.
Hi, excuse me. Welcome to the show, The Spheres of Spirit. I am your host, Nancy Myers. Thanks for spending time with us today. I am so excited about today. As I put out on my Facebook page, we have two special guests today. First, my dear friend, amazing medium and channel, Mardi McCray. Welcome to the show, Mardi. Mardi's been with us before, and if you saw that episode, she actually channeled Archangel Michael, and the message was very profound. So that is on one of the archived shows. But today, Mardi has agreed to channel Robbie, my son. Now, if you follow this show, you will have known that I do this work because my son crossed in 2010. And I do this show because he asked me. But before he asked me to do this podcast, he wanted me to do a video. Now, I'm going to tell you about that video in a minute, but I just want to tell you, in case you're not familiar with Mardi, Mardi has been doing this work professionally since 2014, Mardi?
Yeah. And
you have dedicated your work. And what is the dedication that you have done for your work?
It's the healing of intergenerational trauma.
And if her contact information is on her bio, if you ever have a chance to get a reading with Mardi, I highly recommend it. Not only can Mardi bring in your loved ones, your pets, but she can also tap into your past lives and, of course, channel. So before we get started, I thought it would be educational for the audience, Mardi, to tell a little bit about our history and how we got started in this. So go ahead. Thanks. Okay, well, let me start.
We do this all the time.
I know, we do.
On text. We do it on text. Jinx, jinx, jinx. Always thinking the same thoughts. Okay, so what happened was, I'll try to make the story a paragraph. It was in January 2015, and I had a dream. And what's cool about this is I actually had a witness to this dream in the room. I was staying in a hotel room with my mom, and
sound asleep.
But yeah, she's sound asleep, and I was deeply, deeply asleep, and I was lucid dreaming, which, if you're familiar, you're awake in the dream. You're aware that you're dreaming this, but so it's like you're almost aware on 3 levels. And where I was in the dream, I was in a lagoon in Southern California. How did I know that? I just knew it. And, it looked very Southern California. I'm somewhat familiar. And I'm in the lagoon, and there's a really cute boy next to me. I say boy, he was a young man. He was, in his 20s. And he's all, "What's up?" And I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And we just started kind of chit-chatting. But I had my guide in front of me. And her name's Diana. And he's like, "That's my guide." And I said, "No, that's my guide." And so me and this boy, we share the same guide. And so she starts lecturing us, and it was a big download. And I was just going, and so was he. Yeah, okay, all right, okay. And I don't remember I didn't even know what she was talking about, but I was having to recommit to something, and so was he. And so we were saying, okay, yeah, we'll do it. That's fine. Sure. On the beach were all of our ancestors. And I thought that was interesting. I said, well, I see my ancestors, but it looks like your ancestors are here too. And that was a very interesting note because I thought they were ours.
Oh,
And, later on, what we found out is that, anyway, I digress.
we are related.
We are related distantly, very
Yeah.
distantly. But I have my great-great-grandmother was a Myers and goes all the way back to your husband's and Robbie's same hometown.
Yeah.
And so, anywho.
Well, and then your mom came over and tried to wake you because you
Yes.
kept hearing you say yes, yes, yes. And
Yeah.
she's, Marty, are you all right? And
Yeah, she did. She tried to wake me up for 10 minutes, she said. She goes, I've been trying to wake you and you won't wake. And it's like you were gone from your body.
Yeah.
Because my body was just on autopilot saying, yes, yes. And I was mad with her for waking me up because I was trying to figure out who's this boy and what's the guide saying? What am I agreeing to?
Right.
And I didn't know really.
So this happened in 2015.
Yes.
Marty and I did not meet until 2016.
Yeah.
And we met at a workshop up in Washington, and we got paired up and just had, how you meet one of your soul families, and that there's this instant connection. Well, I didn't get a reading from Marty until 2018. But in the meantime, I've told the audience I was an avid reader, and anything I could get my hands on about spirituality, and especially young men who had crossed over, I read. Well, I found this book. It was by Dr. Alyssa Medhus, and it was called My Son and the Afterlife. And there was a medium that worked with Eric, her son, and channeled him and brought the messages to his mom. And I was utterly fascinated with that. It's a really good read because even Dr. Medhus was, she didn't believe in any of this. So the whole journey and how, and so anyway, she does videos. So I had a reading, and you all have all met Rebecca Rosen. I had a reading with Rebecca Rosen. I think it was in 2017 or maybe early 18. And she said, oh, Robbie's talking about channeling Eric. And I go, okay, yeah, I know what that is. And he said, you're going to do that. You're going to put out a video. This was again, something beyond my expertise and knowledge and experience. And I said, yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. And so I put it on the back burner. Well, then I meet Marty. And I think it was a year or two later, you gave me a reading, right? And Robbie came in.
Oh, yeah.
And what did you tell me when you go, wait, that's your son?
Yeah, I recognized him because I see spirit in my head. And, I see, feel, hear everything. It's like a movie going on in my head. And I'm like, gosh, that kid looks so familiar. And this is her son. I'm like, wait a minute. I think it's that guy from my dream. And I said, oh my God, I had never seen a picture of Robbie. I'm like, but I remembered what the kid in my dream looked like. He's a handsome little boy, and not little boy, is a handsome man. And I was like, show me a picture. Do you have a picture of your son? And you did. You scanned it in your phone and sent it to me. Yeah, there you go.
He's actually in a lagoon surfing, and that's what Marty left out there is when she met him. He was, I can't see that.
He was surfing. We were both surfing in the lagoon. Yeah.
And she said, yes, that's him.
Yeah.
So after another year or so, I asked Marty if she would be willing to do this channel on video. Now, bless her heart, she had never done anything like this. She channeled, kind of. But this was all new to both of us, right? So starting in, I think 2018 to 2021, we did a series of videos. It's on YouTube. It's called Entering the Light Fantastic. And I think we did 21 sessions.
Okay.
and the messages were pretty profound, from
Yep.
the other side. And um but Robbie, towards the end, this was a learning curve
Oh
for
yeah.
Mardi. She had to trust because when you channel, Mardi, tell us what you have to do when you channel.
Well, it's to simplify it, it's you're learning to trust spirit. And I think a lot of people had the idea, I know I did, that spirit would come physically um, into your body. And that's really not the case. I mean, it's kind of, but it's set your own consciousness to the left. Basically, that's what I do when I channel Robbie. I just he comes and meets me. I go into a mini trance.
Mm-hmm.
I see him walking towards me. We meet, and I'm in the process of setting my consciousness, my awareness to the left side of my, and I physically feel him come in through the back right of my brain. So then
Tell
he
us about the first time that.
Oh God. If it's on YouTube, and it's just silly because the very first time I just said, well, I don't know. I'd never channeled a live spirit. I'd channeled anyway, I had done some channeling work in the past, learned how to physically do it.
Mm-hmm.
But to go very deep and to have Robbie as a very active communicator from the other side, his personality is so strong, that presence. I said, I don't know, what do we do? And he's like, I don't know. And so I would feel him hop into my body and go, what? I can't believe you feel this way. Because I am a person, I'm 58, and he passed when he was 27. And so, big difference. 30 years makes a difference in how your body feels. And plus I do suffer from autoimmune issues, chronic. And so he's like, no, we can't do this. We've got to figure out a different way. And then he said he's just going to do like a lace tablecloth overlay. Mm-hmm. His soul is a lace tablecloth. That's what we envision. So if you can envision Robbie's soul becoming a lace tablecloth and sort of draped onto my being.
Yeah.
So then he can sort of embody me more. And but when I channel, I'm not listening to this conversation. At least it's hard not to. That's what I think most channels struggle with is, what? You get pulled back in because you hear something that's kind of interesting that's
Mm-hmm.
being talked about.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. It's just much better if I'm over here focused on something else, which I always try to be chatting with somebody else, or observing the scenery of where he is on the other side while Rob talks to his mother.
Now, you just brought up a good point, because Robbie, when he comes and talks to us through Mardi, he'll be in different places. So we'll let him describe today where he's coming from and who he's with, if anybody.
Oh, yeah.
But you even can see through his eyes, right?
Well, that's why I don't generally, and I don't want to be weird to the audience, but in general, I keep my eyes closed because I try to open them during the channeling, mm-hmm. and it's too much.
Well, they see differently, right?
I see differently. I've done it a few times, and I'm seeing Nancy through the spirit Rob's eyes, and we're seeing Nancy as her higher self. Mm-hmm. And you look so different. I mean, so much the same, but also so much more. And I thought, there's no way. I can't sit and look at, I can't do all of that. No.
Well, okay. So what we've done for the videos and what we're going to do today is Mardi will take a couple of minutes and meld with Robbie. And she will, she always has a little conversation with him before she starts channeling, and we'll talk to him. And when she comes out, Mardi will fill in the blanks as to, what Robbie did, or who he was with, or where she was, what she saw.
What I was seeing. Yeah.
And right. And now we've left this up to Robbie. Mardi has asked Robbie if he was willing to do this. We always do it on his schedule, or if he has something to say. And he said, what did he say when you asked? Yeah, sure. Why not?
Not quite.
Oh, close. But it's funny because I will sit, I know, so I will sit and meditate and talk to him too. And I write down a few questions, which I have done. I've written down my questions.
Okay.
And we'll see. He tells me he can read my mind, not my writing. So we'll see if he addresses any of these questions. So what I'm going to do now, I apologize to my audience for the couple minutes of silence, but we have to wait for Marty to go through that process. So are you ready, Marty?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay. So you go ahead now. When I know Robbie's there, Marty, she kind of changes a little bit, and I hope you can see it. But all of a sudden, I'll hear, "Hi, Mom."
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah. So,
that's so fun. I never even thought of it from your point of view. Like, how would you know when I'm ready?
well, he says, "Hey, Mom."
Right?
So,
Exactly.
yeah. So go ahead, Marty. Take your time, and
Okay.
I know he'll signal me when he's ready.
Okay, we're ready.
Hello,
Mom.
Rob. Hi, Robbie. How are you?
Good. And Merry Christmas to everyone.
Oh, Merry Christmas to
Happy
you too.
Hanukkah, etc. Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't talked to you like this for a long time.
Yeah, it's been too long. Busy, just really busy. But you've been really busy too. So,
Well, you keep giving me assignments, so thank you very much. But I'm tickled that you are now on the podcast that you told me to do. So, how do you feel about that?
uh, this is wild. Did I ever think Nancy Myers was going to do a podcast? I mean, what? It's cool. It's cool, Mom. You're doing great. I'm proud of you. I think
Oh,
it's cool.
well, thank you. So, you keep me busy. So, I know that, it's been a little while, and tell us what you have been doing or where you are today and catch me up. It's been I think our last podcast or video was over a year ago. Now I've heard from you otherwise, but I haven't talked to you directly. So let's catch up.
Okay. Questions? Oh, I'm
Where
supposed
are
to tell you. Okay. So,
where
where to
are
begin?
you?
Where to begin? Where we are today has a lot to do with winter solstice, right?
Mm,
Which I'll just be blunt. I never was into all this stuff when I was on the other. I mean, interested in these things, interested in the afterlife, interested in what is beyond. Yes, very interested in aliens like that. But did I ever really think I would be living this? No, no. I mean, no. So right today, it's in honor of solstice, like we said, and we're in a warm, cozy cave, and we parked Marty over there. She's just sitting, staring at the fire. It's cold out, and this is exactly the atmosphere, for a warm, cozy cave, right? I mean, it could be nicer, but it's a cave and there's a fire in the middle and we have crystals. This is our green crystal cave.
Ooh.
And it's pretty cool. It's a healing cave. Yep. I mean, there's probably a lot of people who know more about crystals than I do, but that's what this is for, I'm told, is this cave.
When you say healing, is that for the souls that come to the other side?
Oh, it's for anyone. Yes, of course. It's anyone who wants to come to the other side, who is coming to the other side. Yes, it's on the other side for healing. It's a healing cave.
Huh. Healing chamber cave. So do you celebrate? Does spirit world celebrate or acknowledge like the winter solstice, and how? Or why?
That's so interesting. I mean, personally, sure. I ski. I love skiing. And the thing about me is I like tradition. I like to do things the right way. And so I'm over here, it's Christmas time. I'm going to go skiing. And that's what I do. And yes, Big Bear, right? And I still go there. I go to the places that I loved. I've been to Switzerland. I've skied the Alps. I don't know if I told you that.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
So you're talking after you've skied in Switzerland, because you didn't do it here.
Sure.
But Robbie just mentioned Big Bear, and that's Big Bear, California, the mountain Big Bear. And that was our last Christmas together. And he did ski. So you go back there, huh?
Yep. And that's kind of what people do over here. It's like, who were you in life? Pretty much. I say it starts fading after a while. I've been here a while, but there's things I like to do. And so, surfing, skiing, and, everything. I mean, I'm still partying too, I have to say. I do enjoy, having a cocktail every now and then. And
that's interesting.
Yeah. Anywho, it's
Robbie, what's it like when you're skiing as a spirit on the slopes? How does that work?
It's not exactly the same. It feels kind of the same. Everything is like 3/4. So,
so you're not actually going to Switzerland. Are you recreating Switzerland where you are then?
Yeah, I would say that's exactly what happens is I think it and I imagine it and boom, there you are. Yeah.
Okay. Because I've heard many souls who go over there, and when they come in for a reading with their loved ones, they're all in places that they liked. Like one might be in a garden, or one might be in the forest, and you can change that whenever you want.
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Well, so, okay. So I do have an assignment today, and this was given to me by one of my guides, and we've channeled Jesus before, but this is directly from Jesus that he wanted me to talk about this today. So when, we talked about a Christmas message, I went to the source and asked what needs to be said. Anything you guys want to say? And so I have something to say. In particular, it's on why we come to Earth. And it's pretty, pretty simple, really. And humans make too much of it. But what I'm told to say is emphasize how the entire reason why we incarnate on Earth, every single one of us is here to learn how to love better. Period. Nothing more, nothing less. You are here to love, but we are here to love better, period. And, being me, I like to, you think, well, wait a minute, I'm on Earth, and Earth is sort of this paradise of like uh, physical pleasures, things you can do, experiences you can have. And uh, don't get me wrong, that's a reason too, but it all relates back to love, doing what you love, as long as it's positive, doesn't hurt anyone, and perhaps creates more love. But I'm one for bending the rules. I like to break rules, maybe kind of. And
Kind of.
I mean, and so I asked about that because not all of us have those thoughts of, it seems very like, oh yes, we're here to love better. It's just not, that's not natural, I think, for a lot of people to think of off the top of their head. You think of your own life and why am I here and what do I want to do and how do I want to live? And yes, those things matter. Where do you live? What job do you have? Who are you surrounding yourself with? But how you're judged when you get here to the other side, how you are judged here is, what did you do to learn how to love better?
And now that you brought that up, I'm going to 2 follow-up questions. And I'm going to have to break here in a minute. Will you wait, Robbie? Will you wait with Marty until we get back?
No.
Can you? Yes, you better. So let me break. I'm going to do the 2 follow-up questions when we get back. You and Marty talk, and Marty will fill me in when she comes out of trance. Okay, we'll be right back.
OMTimes TV. Imagine becoming a super influencer. Reinvent yourself, invest in your brand, and then manifest your success with a robust spheric approach. OMTimes Media and Broadcasting offers a unique and multifaceted way to become the spiritual and conscious influencer you deserve to be by putting your message across our powerful platform with its proven record of integrity and excellence. Through our produced shows, OMTimes offers the opportunity to become a social media TV personality, a radio show host, an OMTimes magazine columnist, and a syndicated podcaster, all in one shot. By live streaming your show on OMTimes TV and broadcasting it across the extensive OMTimes radio and TV networks, you become more than a host. You become an ambassador and a force for positive change. OMTimes. Open yourself to the possibilities. The story told in Entering the Light Fantastic, Discovering Life After Life Through Orbs, is about Nancy Meyer's spiritual and emotional rising from the devastating ashes of loss caused by the sudden and unexpected passing of her son Robbie. Just like the legend of the reborn phoenix, Nancy's life purpose and focus was transformed. With the help from her son in spirit, Nancy found herself providing proof through orbs that our souls do not die with our bodies. In her second book, Encircled by the Light Fantastic, A Deeper Journey into the Light with Orbs, Nancy continues chronicling her path of gaining spiritual knowledge and expanding acceptance of what is possible, while traveling to many sacred and ancient sites around the world. She shares these experiences with you along with her photographs of remarkable spirit encounters.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now anything but lonely.
We had this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure love.
love.
And we're back. You there, Robbie? Oh,
That ad and everything
That-
totally took us out of trance.
that's okay. Can you?
So, Yeah, we'll just go back in. This is my gift as Marty, is that I can go in and out of trance pretty easily, but you shouldn't do that. So let me see. I just got to take more time and get back in deep. It shouldn't take long.
Okay.
Okay, we're back.
Oh, sorry about that, Robbie and Marty. My apologies. So, Robbie,
did not think of that.
So, Robbie, I have a follow-up question. You said because our ears will perk up when they say you went and asked Jesus for the message. Can you tell me how accessible Jesus is to you on the other side?
Yeah, I mean, I work with him. He's one of my guides, and everyone who wants a relationship with him has one. He's that accessible, and he's that accessible in life as well. And in your human life, just ask and he'll be right there. The only thing is I'm uncomfortable. I'm not that guy who's going to tell other people how, this is what you should believe. This is how to think.
Mm-hmm.
No. It's just, for me, Yeshua is one of my guides and a teacher. And so very hands-on. I've served and played my music and other instruments at the church where he preaches. And so I work with him a lot.
So would he, since Jesus is a spiritual leader and there's many other spiritual leaders, if someone wanted to access the other spiritual leaders, they have that access also?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. That's interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah.
So you said one of the things that Jesus said was, love. And when we get to the other side, that's what we are judged on. Is it still your understanding or experience that the judges are ourselves?
Yes and no. It's our team. It's the people that, the team is really your guides. And of course, yes, your higher self. And so your higher self and your guides will discuss and go over. And I say judge, I'll tell you this. When I was on earth, that's why I was a DA. It's what I was on, very much justice minded. And I want to help people who'd been wronged. And that's why I was on the side of the prosecution. Also because that's where I got a job. But I will say that my heart at that time was 100% for, a right fighter. I considered myself on the right side as a prosecution. Not so much anymore. That's changed. Has changed. That's changed for me. I'm much more gray areas here. But
so your term of judging has changed?
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yep. Yeah.
So how would you define judging up there then?
It's so many factors of, did you complete your mission? Did you do what you came to do? Did you learn what you came to learn? Because you do agree to this all of it before you come in. And if you want to do something more, I'm going to talk about that, Lagoon. So it's that lagoon experience was us deciding, me deciding on the other side, I want to do something more. I want to do something more because I feel I left too soon.
Ah,
I'm still annoyed, and I keep trying to get over it. And it's not bothering me per se. It's just,
you would
sort
have preferred.
yes. Would have preferred to stay and longer. And so this is a way of kind of coming back in, right? I am doing it. I mean, it's a little odd, but it is my contribution. I went back over and decided with my team that, yeah, I left some things undone. I want to do some more stuff.
So that's a great example of how spirit helps us in this life, and how they continue their gifts, especially if you're working. Are you still working on the justice side over there?
Some. You can do whatever you want here, and so there is no time, and it's unlimited. And so, yeah. I mean, if you have to work, do something meaningful. But would I rather kind of, mess around and play and stuff like, yeah. So,
Yeah, you would. So when you're up there and you're not, say, working or skiing or messing around and having fun, you've talked about sometimes going to the Akashic records, and I think most people are familiar with the Akashic records. Have you been there lately? Have you had any discoveries that you want to share?
lately, I mean, it's kind of, I don't know. It's not a huge part of my life. No.
Hmm.
Marty wishes it was, but no. I'll go there occasionally, but it's you don't really need to. I did a ton of that when I first came here. I did a
Right.
ton. I was always in the library, and it looks like a giant law library to me.
Mhm.
And so maybe I'm, no, not so much anymore. But yes, I have questions. Were there questions about this?
Well, I didn't know if you had any new discoveries of
Oh,
that.
no,
Okay. So
not that I
when
want to talk about right now. No.
Okay. So when you are, well, what else are you doing then? What else is taking up your quote unquote time, because there is no time there, and during your quote unquote life there?
I'll tell you what, I'm checking in on all my friends and family 24/7. I mean, that's it. It's how can I assist?
Ah,
How can I serve? Because I mean, if you have a friend in spirit, then go ahead, send your prayers and thoughts my way. I can help if I can. I will. And it does make a difference. It does make a difference of if you have a friend over on our side, on the spirit side. Heck yeah, we're going to answer your prayers. If we can possibly influence situations. I've spent a lot of time with peeking in on yeah, I admit it, I'm a stalker.
no, you're not.
Whatever. I'm a stalker, and I have friends that they're going on, they're having kids, they're moving on with their lives, and it's cool to see. It's really, really cool to see, and that is, to be honest, that is where I spend most of my time, is checking in on my friends and family.
Robbie, how hard is it for you to come from the spirit world to the earth plane?
We're only like 3 feet up, so it's not hard. It's not hard. I think for me it was easier. Looking back, I'm just a really physical person, and I like to talk and communicate, and so that still came with me. And so I think it's easier for me, and it is my my passion. It's what I like to do, is meet with people, talk with people. I like to be sociable. and find out what's up with everyone. And so, yeah, maybe it's easier for me than others. I'm not certain. I do know that about myself now that I didn't know when I first crossed, that maybe the reason why I got picked to come back and talk is because I like to talk. It's not that hard for me.
No, and you're very good at it. So is there any restrictions imposed upon you when you are in the earthly plane as far as how long you can stay or exactly what you can share with someone or do? You mentioned, wait a minute, I will help as we can,
Right.
but I'm assuming you're limited by someone or some law as to what you can and can't do.
Okay, so I will say that I will bend the rules as far as I can without breaking them. And, I am that person who would rather apologize. Oh, sorry. I didn't know. I'd rather do that on my friends and family's behalf than, if I've broken a rule, which I have. But nothing terrible. You can't violate others' free will, and you can't. What's the word? You can't
interfere. I've never known you to be a loss for words.
Contract. The contract. You can't interfere. I was just trying to think of contract.
Your soul contract.
Yeah. You sign a legal contract. It's not legal, but I mean, legal for God's realm or the universe's realm. The other side, there is a contract that we all sign before we come here. And so I can't personally, if you want to break the contract you made, guess what? You can. Mm-hmm. You can ask to say, I don't like this lesson anymore. I don't want it. And Marty knows that. So it's very interesting that God, whoever your guides are, I call it God, source, the head of all of this on the other side, the source of all of our energy and experiences, the God source, is quite merciful. And so if you want to change things, then you can ask.
Through prayer.
Yes. And you'll find out pretty quickly whether it's going to work or not.
That's interesting. I've never heard that before. I thought once we made that quote unquote contract that, we were pretty much locked into the journey. Depending.
There are certain non-negotiables. And I can't tell you what would your non-negotiables be. I don't know. But, I could go look it up. But it's everyone's unique. Everyone's got their own purpose, mission, soul lessons that you specifically wrote into your plan. And so they'll come to you in a different way. But the free will of humanity, that doesn't mean you're going to live out that contract to the letter. It may mean that you've got one of all these potentialities around. Consider it as a wheel. I could go this way, that way, this way, that way, this way. Slightly different variations on the theme and the contract of your life, if that makes sense. It's like spokes on a wheel, your main anchoring soul in the middle, and then the spokes coming out. Yeah.
Okay. So is there anything else that you want to share with us at this time in our history, or what you've observed about us since you got on the other side and you go, oh my gosh, I can't believe, or what you guys are going through?
Well, I think I've shared a lot before. I guess it's that aspect. For me, that was a big soul lesson for me that I didn't get until I got over here on the other side.
That you could change?
No. Keep up.
Sorry.
Kidding.
Yes, son.
Kidding. It's my mom. I got to do it. So too easy, Mom. Too easy. So, okay. Where was I? So
Your biggest lesson when you got over there.
Yeah, right.
See, I'm listening.
That's a super important thing. Super important that I can't remember. Oh yeah. So what it is the lesson that I learned when I got to the other side is what we started talking about today. There is one reason all the human souls come to Earth, period. And underline that period 3 times.
Mhm.
It's you come to Earth to learn how to love better, period.
Yeah.
And there's no getting out of it. So that's a big hint for your SATs. This is the hint that you all need, is that you're here how to learn to love better.
Here's the answer.
That's the answer. It always comes back to that. It always comes back to that. And I'm the guy who is saying, but wait a minute, because there's certain things that I did in my life that I know weren't so loving. All right. I'm not a perfect person. Nobody is. I'm ashamed of how I treated some people at some points in time. Hell yes, I am. But you can't live in shame. You've got to move on to the lesson.
Right.
You've got to drop that off and go, all right, well, how do I fix it then?
Yeah.
So now that you have the only answer possible
to the final exam,
everyone write it down. The only answer is love.
Yeah.
Love. And there's a Beatles song. Of course there is. And love is all you need. All you need is love. It's that is always going to be the answer. So don't think you can wiggle out with, but they were really mean to me, or that guy really hurt my feelings. Nope. Love.
Okay. Well, on that note, my son, our time is almost up, and I think that was a beautiful message for this time of year. I thank you for talking with us and for picking on me once again. I still love you. So we're going to let Marty come out of this, and I will visit with you again soon. Love you,
Mom.
Love
Give
you
Dad
too.
a hug. Give Jack a hug.
I will.
Give all the dogs a hug.
I will.
Miss you guys at Christmas.
We miss you too, but we know you'll be here.
There. You know I'm there.
I do know that. You better be.
I don't want Jack to be sad. I don't want anyone to be sad at Christmas. I don't want it.
Okay. We will do our best.
Love you.
Love you too, honey. Chris, while we're waiting for Marty to come out, it's going to take her a few minutes. Can you bring up that first picture? The first picture says, you do not have a soul. You are a soul. You have a body. And that was by C.S. Lewis. And of course, C.S. Lewis wrote one of my favorite books, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But I hope this demonstrated to you that Robbie's body might be here, but Robbie, the personality of Robbie, this personality of his soul went on. And that's what Marty's tapping into. So if we can go to the next slide. And these are all orbs that I have gotten in the past that I then attach my my sayings to. And because the orbs come in, and because we all go back to what we are, which is energy and light, think of it that light is a living spirit. And I put this one out there because it's when I capture orbs, I am capturing a living spirit. So can we do one more, Chris? So I just captured this orb the other day, and it reminded me, I don't know why, but it reminded me of the human brain. And the quote that I attached to this, it said, the sky is not the limit, your mind is. And that quote is actually attributed to Marilyn Monroe. I don't know if she was re-quoting someone or just used it a lot. But, thank you, Chris. Thank you for that. The reason I put that one there is because what you just witnessed with Marty talking to Robbie, you can either accept it or not. It's up to you. It's your mind. It's your choice. But I choose to believe that spirit has no limit. So Marty is back. Marty, that was amazing. And I'm going to tell you my questions because he did answer them.
Oh, did he?
Yes. So,
That's so cute.
I know. He opened up. I said, talk about rituals and holidays. And that's what he opened with. And then I said, what have you learned? And of course, that was the big thing. It was Yeshua's message.
Oh, yeah.
And then I said, how does Spirit see us at this time? And he talked about us, I think, being able to shift our path if we want to. And then you talked about how he sees me. But anyway, those were and then I said, do you celebrate where you are? That was another. Oh, and then I said, and this is the other one. What can you share to help all of us with our own spiritual journey? And he gave us the answer to the test, right?
Yeah.
So take a minute or two to tell us what you saw, and because he always tells you something in the end. So I'll give you 2 minutes here, and then I'm going to read Leonini's message.
Okay. I try to go as deep as I possible to come out and go back. I didn't think of that.
Sorry.
Yeah, my bad. So it makes me, I'm like really dizzy.
Oh boy.
So, I do think what I was seeing was the crystal cave, and I just, he's like, go look over there.
I saw you laugh right when you were in the beginning. So he must have been teasing you.
Oh, yeah. He's super bossy, and he always tells me what to do. Go on. Just and I'm okay. So I just sit and look at I was staring at green crystals for quite a long time. And then I did hear him say something funny about you just said it. Oh, about the test. The test.
Oh, the SAT test. Yeah.
It's funny. It's like when he gets all fired up, I get like, what? What's funny? Because that's me. That's my brain. And I do believe, listen, you guys, everyone watching this, he and I are a lot alike. We just are. We think a lot alike. I swear I'm related to him, brother, sister, and another. I'm sure of it. And so I think I am a good person to channel him just because we are so much alike.
Well,
but I was a skeptic before all this. Yeah.
Well, sure. And one of the reasons I went into our story was to show the audience or demonstrate to the audience how Spirit works to bring all the pieces together.
Yes.
So, yeah. So, let me read Leonini's message because I got an unusual message from Leonini. And I couldn't figure out why, but now what Robbie said makes sense.
Oh, cool.
It says, throughout your history, this is Leonini speaking yesterday. Throughout your history, humankind has marked certain dates and events with reverence, celebrations, and rituals, year after year, time after time. Because you exist in linear time, marking these dates in this way can give you pause to take time to remember the importance of these events. Acknowledging and celebrating these dates keep you connected to each other and to the highest good. Everyone will not celebrate all of the exact same events, but there are important dates shared by all, and they do not change, such as the winter solstice. No matter where you are or who you are, these events and their effects are the same. Enjoy your celebrations and learn the history of your rites and rituals. You will find many more connections than separations. Nice. And isn't that what it's all about? So that was pretty amazing. Yeah. So I'm going to pull a card really quick. And since we talked about the soul, Chris, as I'm shuffling, can you bring up that last slide? I'm going to read a card. It's called Soul Lessons and Soul Purpose. But this is the last one that I had. And this is a beautiful orb that I got. And it says the final stage of healing is using what happens to you to help other people. And that's Gloria Steinem. And thank you, Chris. And that's exactly what Robbie's doing. And then what he's asked me to do is, okay, how do we learn from this? And I think Robbie talked a lot about the lesson and love. So I'm going to pull a card. I have a minute here really quick. And next time, I am going to have a friend who had a near-death experience, and you're going to want to hear her story. So the card that I drew, it says, claim your art. So what this means to me that I will share with you is find your own talents, do your passion. Don't forget about that. It's part of being in the physical world. And Robbie talked about that. We are here. We come in with gifts. We come in with a purpose. So don't let your gift go to waste. So at this time, I want to thank my dear friend for Mardi. I highly recommend that you get a reading from her. I want to wish everybody a very happy holiday, a happy and healthy new year. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.